Hello and welcome to Cool Shark Racing. Today we have another track guide and it's with the Ginneta gt5 at Snetterton 200. We're going to be using just the default loose setup with no assists apart from ABS on low. So first we're going to have a quick look at the lap and then a detailed look later on. So thanks for watching that lap. That was a 1 minute 18.198. So now we're going to have an in-depth look at exactly how to do it. One of the things that you'll want to practice a lot with the GT5 car and also this track is using a bit of slip angle. Some of the faster corners you need quite a bit. Coming into turn 1 we don't need to brake, we just need to lift a little bit after this first board on the left. And we're also going to want to shift down into fourth and then get back on the throttle and getting a good exit. So as you can see, we're using quite a bit of slip angle on the entry. So you want to hit the apex here near the start of the corner and then let it drift out just a little bit and then bring it back in for the final apex. So you kind of got two apexes there. I wouldn't recommend using the curb on the exit either because it's very easy to spin. So coming now to the hairpin, we want to brake just before this first board on the left hand side and we want to go a little bit deeper into the corner. We want to get off the brakes here and try and get on the throttle nice and early. This is our apex, quite late here, just at the end of that red high curb. And then we want to get in the middle of the track and try and exit onto the left-hander here using a little bit of the curb. Trying not to use too much curb on this left-hander or the exit because we've got really long straight, so we want to try and maximize our exit speed, which is why we go a little bit deeper into the hairpin so we can get a really good straight line speed. So coming into this left then a right-hander, this is a little bit tricky, this corner here, so I'm just going to have a video here of what I do. Then we're going to have a look at exactly where I'm braking. So we're going to want to start braking just before this bridge. Then we want to get off the brakes here. And then what actually we want to do is we want to go full throttle for just a little second, which is gives us that slip angle. And then we want to brake for the right-hander a wee bit early here, just about halfway along this curb on the left-hand side, getting off the brakes and on the throttle here. And this is our apex here, so we want to be careful not to use too much curb because if we use that red high curb, it will put us on two wheels. And we can use the exit curb here as well. So here we go in slow motion here. On the brakes just before the bridge, and then off the brakes just after. Full throttle for just a second, then we modulate the throttle just a little bit, then we're on the brakes, and then on the throttle through the right-hander. Getting on the throttle nice and early is really crucial for this track, because there's so many long straights, we really need to get on the throttle early through the slow corners. So the next part is this long sweeping right-hander. So the first part, we want to begin turning in here, picking up the first apex around about here. Then we want to allow the car to drift a little bit onto the exit, not actually using the exit curb though. Then for the next part of the right-hander, we want to turn in really late, so we can see whilst we've got these black boards on the right hand side, we're around about the middle of the track. And then we really want to get right on the right hand side of the circuit at the end of this big curb on the right hand side. We want to apex the corner just around about here, just at the end of that big curb on the right hand side, and then into the braking zone here, just before that final board on the right hand side, taking a little bit of the gravel to maximise our entry on the left-hander. After we exit that right-hander, we'll be in about the middle of the circuit, so we want to get off the brakes and on the throttle as early as possible. This is where I get off the brakes, just before the apex of the left-hander. As you see, I only use just a tiny bit of curb, and then we can use a bit of curb on the exit to finish off our lap. So I hope you enjoyed that track guide for Snetterton 200 in the GT5. That was just the default loose setup for that track guide, but I hope you enjoyed that track guide. I hope it helps you improve your lap times. Because I talk a lot about slip angle in this video, I've put a link to a video in the description below that explains what slip angle is and how to use it really well. So thanks again for watching that track guide.